6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You'll never have the sacred stone.
Oh, this you crazy mother.
Hello my beautiful ninjas and welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you guys are all having an awesome day. If you have yet to subscribe to my channel, make sure that you go ahead and click that subscribe button and also click that bell so you're always notified every time I upload a new video. So as you guys can tell by the title, it is going to be another worthy talk conversation. So hopefully you guys have been enjoying these. If you have, make sure to give it a thumbs up and also leave your comments down below if you guys have any other topics that you want me to discuss, or if you want my advice on like your specific situation or circumstance. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. Of course, as you guys can tell by the title, this is going to be on how to avoid settling in relationships. So I wanted to do a couple of pointers in this video, but I realized that most of the pointers are, I don't know, I feel like all the pointers kind of like deserve their own video, if that makes sense. So I'm not going to talk about 4 pointers in this video and make it super duper long or not go into detail enough. So I might do like a part 2 or a part 3 to this video. I'm not really sure yet. But the first tip that I wanted to talk to you guys about is definitely extremely important, especially for those of you out there that are younger. I definitely want you guys to kind of like hear this out and really just apply this to your life. So the tip that I wanted to give you guys on how to avoid settling in relationships is to get to know yourself before you even get into the relationship. So I don't know what is the rush. I'm not sure of what the rush is, and I understand because obviously I was young before. So it's like I understand there's pressure from friends. I feel like, you know, there's, especially now on social media and things like that, you see people booed up and things like that. You kind of want it for yourself and you desire to have that as well. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with desiring that. But a lot of times I feel like a lot of us rush into relationships and we rush and jump from relationship to relationship without truly giving ourselves the time to get to know ourselves and to get to know who we are, to get to know what we want, what we like, what we don't like, what we're, you know, willing to tolerate. Because at the end of the day, the biggest point that I wanted to talk about is that there is a difference between sacrificing in relationships and compromising in relationships. If you have to sacrifice your morals, if you have to sacrifice your beliefs, if you have to sacrifice your desires, if you have to sacrifice your, you know, faith to be in a relationship or to be with someone, that is not the right relationship for you. But until you really get to know yourself and you really get to know what's most important to you and what you're willing to tolerate and what you're not willing to tolerate, it doesn't necessarily make sense for you to be jumping in relationships, because automatically you're going to end up settling on the person, settle on a lot of situations and circumstances within the relationship, and it may not necessarily be the right relationship for you. So there's no rush. And it's crazy because I remember being younger and my mom always telling, you know, me and my friends that, listen, time is gonna go by fast. Enjoy this season, enjoy this time of your life. Stop trying to be grown, you know, stop trying to rush the process. And us just being like, you know, what are you talking about? Like, I'm 16, what are you saying? I got time. And of course you have time, and of course I have time, but I'm turning 29 this year, and I feel like those conversations that I was having with my mom was like yesterday. Enjoy each season of your life. It's there for you to enjoy it, for you to, you know, get to know yourself in it, get to understand more about yourself. And I feel like the more that you pour into yourself, especially when you're younger, the less mistakes that you'll make, the less, you know, just the less hurt that you'll be able to avoid. Because there are some relationships that I was in my past that I ain't had no business being in. There were some people that I was with that I ain't had no business being with in the first place. And the biggest thing is because I didn't really take the time to understand myself. I didn't really take the time to understand what I like, what I don't like, and to really just pour into myself and to pour into loving myself. Because I feel like when you jump into a relationship without knowing who you are and without knowing what you like and what you're willing to tolerate and what you're not willing to tolerate, it's like you adopt whatever standards that person sets for you for that relationship, if that makes sense. So you end up accepting less than you deserve. And what's the sense of that? That's a waste of time. Time is the most valuable thing that you have in this life. So don't waste it on anyone or for anyone. It's not worth it. And I feel like, yes, there are lessons that I've learned along the years, within each relationship, but there are some relationships that at the end of the day, it was just like me learning the same lesson, just because I didn't take enough time to get to know myself. I didn't take enough time to find value within myself. It's like I felt like I had to be in a relationship to be valuable. And a lot of us feel that way. We may not necessarily admit to it. We may not necessarily recognize that that's where we are. And there's nothing wrong with that. But I feel like there's no rush. So if you want to avoid settling in relationships, get to know yourself before you get into them in the first place. Yes, relationships will teach you pain and mistakes and hurt, and all of that will teach you. But there are certain things and situations that a lot of us put ourselves in, and it's dangerous. It's really, really, really dangerous. And I want to help you guys to avoid, as much pain as I possibly can. You don't have to touch the fire to know it's hot. Girl, I'm telling you, it is hot, okay? You don't believe me. Trust me. I've been there, done that. Yes, you're going to go through your own experiences. Yes, you're going to go through your own pain. Yes, you're going to go through your own hurt. That's how life, basically teaches you. That's how life stretches you and grows you. But before you get into those relationships, and a relationship could be a romantic relationship, it could be a friendship, it can be a business relationship, it can be any of those things. Get to know yourself first. You can't establish a true, honest, relationship without knowing who you are, without knowing what you deserve, without knowing that you deserve the best. If you don't believe that, you're not going to ask or demand much of the person if you don't believe within yourself that you're worth it, you're valuable. If you don't believe it, what do you expect? You know what I mean? You attract who you are. You attract the energy that you emit yourself. So if you're emitting, energy of lack and, selflessness or depression or sadness, if that's what you're emitting, then that's what you will attract. You'll find men that are going to prey on that. You'll find, friendships or people that are going to take advantage of you. It's not worth it. I'm trying to help you to avoid it in all areas of your life. The biggest thing that you can do for yourself is to get to know yourself. Don't rush into anything. Don't feel pressured to do anything that you're not ready to do. If you're not at the point where you can look at yourself in the mirror and you love what you see in the mirror, if you're not in the place where you can speak, to yourself in love and in kindness, with words of love and kindness, then you're not ready to be in a relationship with anybody else. I'm telling you that right now. Because a relationship is already hard enough, but to try to get to know yourself while in a relationship where you're getting less than you deserve and you still have to deal with everyday life, you still have to deal with being an adult, you still have to deal with that person's wants and desires and all of that, that is hard. And it's unnecessary to put yourself in that, situation, in that position. I do still believe that God kind of, positions certain people to come into our lives at a certain time. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with building friendships. There's nothing wrong with building, business relationships and things like that. But just make sure that you are a whole individual before you get into something that you're not really ready, that you're not really ready for at this point in time. So I hope that makes sense. Take the time to get to know yourself. You have so much time ahead of you. You have so much time to experience all the things that you feel like you need to experience right now. It will come. The time will come. Your time will come. But in the meantime, you need to make sure that you're preparing yourself for it. You're preparing yourself to appreciate it. Because if you don't know yourself, you don't know what you want, you don't know what you like, you don't know what you don't like, you don't know what you are willing to tolerate, how are you going to appreciate when you actually have something good? You won't even recognize the good because you won't even know that you deserve it. You won't even know your value. You don't even know what you're able to bring to the table. You don't even believe that you are worth having it. So take the time to get to know yourself. Take the time to love yourself. Take the time to grow yourself. Take the time to, stretch yourself. Take the time to pour into you. Get to the place where you can look at yourself in the mirror and be like, girl, you are amazing, and believe it. Get to the point where you look at yourself in the mirror and you're like, you know what? I am proud of you. Get to the point where you can look at yourself in the mirror and say, I deserve everything that I want. I deserve it. If you can't say that while you're looking at yourself in the mirror and believe it, then there is more work that needs to be done on the inside of you before you can pour into someone else. Fill up your own cup. Stop trying to, get the scraps from other people's cups. Or stop trying to fill up somebody else's cup. Yes, you have to, have a heart of service and you have to give and all of that. The time for it will come. But fill up your own cup. You deserve to experience that for yourself, within yourself, to be happy with yourself as yourself. This is the time for you to do that. So don't rush into any relationship. If you want to avoid settling in any type of relationship in any area of your life, take the time to get to know yourself before you even enter into a relationship in the first place. So hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully that helps. Hopefully that gives you the guidance that you need, that you've been looking for. If this is something that relates to you specifically, if you want me to go into more detail, if you want me to do a part 2 to this video, make sure that you guys leave your comments down below letting me know, as well as make sure that you give this video a thumbs up. I love you guys, and I really want you to avoid as much pain and hurt as you possibly can. And now I'm looking back at my own life and I'm willing to put myself on the line and just to teach you and to share the lessons that I've learned along the way to help you to avoid that type of pain. So again, thank you so much. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Obviously, make sure that you guys subscribe to my channel for more. Be safe, stay blessed, and remember to always, always treat yourself. Peace out.